Remote person. What? Remote person. It didn't play dirty, it's split. No? Yeah. One more. No, it's like 5 times in a row. What? He slipped 5 times in a row.
Basically, Nepo, after the draw by repetition, said that Harry played dirty. Harry says, I didn't play dirty, it just slipped. And then Nepo comes back and says it slipped 5 times in a row. So in this game, actually, a couple of times, Harry had knocked down the piece while making a move accidentally. Let me show you that. This was the first time. Harry knocks down the piece accidentally, then presses the clock, and then he adjusts the piece, which is not correct, which is not allowed. You're supposed to adjust it in your own time. And Harry is down to 3 seconds. So Nepo was visibly upset with that. So this was the first occurrence. And then a few moves later, this was the second occurrence. But this time, if you watch closely, this time Harry knocks down the piece accidentally, but before pressing the clock, he adjusted it. But he used two hands for it. And that is also not allowed in the rules of chess. So this is what led to the heated exchange at the end of the game.
Remote person. What? Remote person.
Nepo says you should play more dirty next time.
I didn't play dirty, it's split. No? Yeah. One more.
And Harry offers the handshake, but Nepo almost strikes him.
No, he slipped like 5 times in a row. What? He slipped 5 times in a row.
And then he says you slipped the piece 5 times in a row, which is not correct. It was 2 times. Second time he did adjusted it in his own time. The first time it was a real issue. Second time also he adjusted with both hands. So in those cases, you're supposed to call the arbiter and tell him the issue, not react in such a way. And calling it dirty is pretty much above the line, beyond the line. This is from the final round of the World Blitz. Here the photographer creates a small noise, shutter noise, and Alexander shoos him away. And the game continues. But if you look at it closely, after the so-called disturbance, which was a minor disturbance, to say the least, Alexandra makes a move, and when the opponent is low on time and she's thinking, that's when she shoos him away. This is not ethical. Yeah, you are supposed to stop the clock and do it, or do it on your own time. This is like intentionally disturbing the other player. So after this game was over, Alexandra Kosteniuk appealed the result of the game, but the result stood. The results of World Blitz for women's delayed a little bit because of this appeal, but at the end of the day, it was not considered a valid appeal. So the black player actually claims threefold repetition. This was already like 73 moves since the last capture, but because they're not writing moves, it's rapid and they're not writing moves. He doesn't know exactly how many moves are over. So he did not claim the 50 move rule. And if the player doesn't claim it and the game continues, once it reaches 75 moves without any capture or pawn move, then the arbiters will call it a draw. But this is only 73rd move, and he has claimed threefold repetition, not 50 move draw. He claims threefold repetition.
Yeah. 3 runs time verification. Which we have to check. He's claiming play for the yes, for the that's logical, but he didn't say that. He didn't say that. Firstly, once he claims, he has to claim properly. He says it is his new, he claims that it is already up here. It is his new only. You can claim.
So basically, for a threefold repetition, you're supposed to claim the draw before you make the third repetition, which he did, and you're also supposed to tell the arbiter that I'm going to play this move, and it'll be three-time repetition. So because there's a communication problem here in language, the black player didn't tell exactly what move he's going to play, but now he tells it. White player is just being a little bit too technical, too salty, because he can sense the win, but it's too late. But is it three-time repetition? The arbiters are checking. And Anish Giri out of nowhere pops up.
Okay, but he has to say with which move, but he didn't say that because he speaks Russian, we want to explain. Anybody can translate. But what is it like? He insists that it will be three fold repetition. It's his move. It's his move now, so he's going to play D8. But he didn't say that. I know the rule, but he didn't say that. No, I mean, he didn't play. He claimed. He thought he played. But he didn't. He has to write. He has to write and he has to claim. This is the rule.
Remember, this was the 73rd move completed by white. Once black makes the move, 73 moves will be over. And once two more moves get over, it will be 75 moves without a capture or a pawn move. And the game will be drawn by itself. The arbiters can intervene and say it's a draw, even if the player doesn't claim the 50 move draw.
It's like from this is the rapid. And this is what he said. He doesn't speak English, but Şurada.
Stable consist of village.
Şurada.
I'm in a trip.
Time repeat. Time repeat. Onu bu süreç kadar yapalım.
So the arbiter says there was no repetition, continue the game.
Coke cut of me still and consider me what? Coke.
How many moves? Speak how many moves we make after?
After.
No, we cannot. This
I will pick
to шмо дават кардик ин сетапа такрошда. Хамтарми? Бат ина кутан не идома боед.
правила to do this.
Just wait. Правила фиде.
long time for
Финан ту дават кардик ин пасовия.
I have to start immediately. Refusing the claim, we have to continue immediately, yeah? Not
একটা সওয়াল করেন বা একটা সওয়াল জবাব দিচ্ছেন।
Чам or невозможно.
Як дафа, до дафа невозможно ход? Лот.
Второй раз уже.
Поиграл. У него было что ли невозможно? Не было. Ты один вопрос задаешь, потом другой задаешь.
So 2 minutes get added to white's clock because there was an incorrect claim by black.
Так некрасиво, брат.
Вопрос я хотел. Сколько?
Ты говоришь, сейчас требуешь ничего, правильно? Или ответили на этот вопрос? Все. Тут другой вопрос. Ты не должен так задавать. Нету.
Если насчет физического, это следующее. Это следующее, что если это не так.
Без взятия 50 готовы сыграть.
The game continues. Remember, black moved, and now white has played 74th move. "74 moves are done." That was a 75th move by white. And it's about to be checkmate actually. You see, the rook is about to come down with mate. But king can move still. King can still move. Moves the king. He moves the king. 75 moves are over. Rook f2 was 76th move. The rule is after 75 moves, it's a draw. 75 moves without a capture or a pawn move is a draw. And 75 moves have been over. But it's about to be mate. Mate is unstoppable. The player resigns.
That's
Fica dois dólares, fica dois. Já para isso, né?
So basically, at the end, the arbiters made the result a draw because 75 moves were over since the last capture of pawn move. But the problem for white player was the results were already published, and the next round pairing was updated as a win for the white player. So they adjusted that next round. But for this particular next round, the white player got a tougher opponent because his result was updated as a win, and it was adjusted only the round after. So for one round, he got a tougher opponent, and that was unfortunate for the white player.
Was my move. Okay, four of his friends, relative friends, was standing there behind him, and then I started to I was making.
First, then all the players go, right? And Jesus go back on the side.
Making my move. His friend was standing right here and he street. And then I look at him, I look at the clock, and it felt I already make my move, and I was pressing the clock. But okay.
First. It was like there. Second scene, his line is my friend don't speak English. Can't say it's time. Can't say it. Just even if you want. Can't even why he's screaming. Like he will clarify.
He wasn't far, and he screamed. I looked at him.
You will right here, like after the beginning.
So basically, the white player's time got over, but he complains that one of the black player's friends screamed when his time was about to get over, and that distracted him, and that's why he got flagged.
So something was without each other, and he says that one of the boys was standing from the kid that normally he looked at just
Okay, please try us. Try us.
you caught that. I mean, what you want
The NRK reporter is seizing the moment right there. A fake interview. The player is talking to the other player. I think it's the first time in the history of chess that that an interview takes place right in the middle of a game.
I was making my worst. I literally
before there was that phone. It wasn't very fast, but that's it. If you had time, if you had time, and like
I would complain that someone is screaming around my board.
yeah, but you wouldn't even say it.
So you're saying, so you're saying that it's normal that someone screams around the board. You was, no, you just said it 2 seconds ago, right?
Yes, but you were very
Yes, you think so.
Like if you had time,
Yes, you think that screaming is normal around the chessboard, right? This is what you said 2 seconds ago, yes? You did say it.
I did see that you was very fast.
Exactly. So you believe that screaming is normal around the board, right?
Someone was in the really feel it, I will say sometimes it's all screaming.
My friend, you want to learn check or you want to learn? You want to learn that?
Now it's almost like bullying. The white player is dominating the young kid. Here you can see the photographer from the Alexander Kosteniuk incident.
So the decision is
The NRK reporter is really taking some risks there.
seconds in the vote. And they go to the rest of it. Okay, I can expect the game would continue. Again, this is its.
The arbiters decide to continue the game and add time 1 second to the player. The young kid is not too happy about that. He's dejected. Seems like a bad decision. Even if someone screams from near the board, it's not big enough reason to lose on time. It's just like the player is complaining just because he lost.
No, I was here and I saw three your friends. I don't know, their friends. You something behind you. Yeah, like that's fine. And it's not the first time that this happened. I mean, that's the and stuff. So I don't see them. No, it's very fun. Was the last, yeah, it was the last name, so I was something like that. I can have this tax, but this is tax. This sort of like that, I see,
So it's a bad decision basically because imagine this guy, young kid, had like a sort of rival or an enemy guy. And if the other the player from outside wants to disrupt this game and cause problems, then he can create problems by just screaming. It's so hard to continue like this because he already believed that he won on time, and then having to continue from there is so tough.
So I'm the color now. I didn't want to this part of the you can call me out. It was this. Oh, it's
The 2 seconds get added to the player's clock.
Yes.
And it's so unfair because he was still looking at the board all this time, the last few seconds. But the other player is disturbed and he could not concentrate. And the game ends in a draw. The kid clearly feels that the result has been stolen from him. He has been robbed.
But twice he did. You adjust the move in my time.
Why did you just put the button?
Because if I want to stop, already no one can. But you bring your hand into the game in my time. Once, if what is
The poor kid is in the middle of a controversy again. This time, the complaint is that he adjusted the piece in opponent's time, which is not allowed.
Bro. Why you don't cannot?
Уронили фигуру и сделали ход, понимаете? Предупреждение, второе это было предупреждение времени. Понимаете?
So the game ended in a draw, but he just complained after the game. It doesn't stand. Again, our villain of the video with the rook and bishop against opponent's rook. But this time, opponent defends well. This time the arbiters are more alert. This arbiter was good. The one over there who was counting the moves. And 175 move rule, 75 moves were completed. Since the last capture of pawn move, the game just ended in a draw. So no controversy here, but I just wanted to show this because it is related to the first incident. I mean, to the third incident.